Hi. Now, at school, that's where almost everybody eats their lunch. And for some kids, that's the only place they get a lunch, is at school. So this morning I went with two of my friends, Jerry and Ramona, and many of you know them. And we went to their school and we picked up a big carload full of bags of lunches. And we went to their houses and we dropped them off. So it made me think about this story that I know that's in 3 different books in the Bible, and it's a true story. And it's about a little boy who shared his lunch. And this is the way it goes. Now, first of all, I wanted to tell you, you can find this story also in Matthew 14, Mark 6, and Luke 9. There was once 5,000 tired and hungry and probably very grumpy people sitting on a hillside, wanting their dinner. They had come to hear Jesus that day. They had come before breakfast and they had stayed all morning, all afternoon, and way past dinner. No one had meant to be out there that long, but that's how it is, listening to Jesus, as if time doesn't exist. People could listen to Jesus for hours, and on this particular day, that's exactly what they did. They hadn't brought enough food, and they couldn't just go and buy themselves a burger and fries to go, because, of course, they were in the middle of nowhere, and with no stores or restaurants. Besides, that kind of food wasn't invented yet. What would they do? Jesus' friends had an idea. Let's send everyone home for dinner. They don't need to go, Jesus said. You can give them something to eat. But did Jesus want them to travel all the way to town and buy food for everyone? Jesus' friends panicked. But we don't have enough money. What food do you have? Jesus asked. Go and see. Now there was a little boy in the crowd, and he had brought a lunch that his mother had packed him that morning. He looked at his 5 loaves and 2 fish. It wasn't enough. Not nearly for 5,000 people, but it was all he had. I have something, he said. Jesus' friends, they laughed at him when they saw the little lunch. That's not nearly enough, they said. But they were wrong. Jesus knew it didn't matter how much the little boy had. God had made it enough, more than enough. Jesus said, "Bring me what you have." And so the little boy gave Jesus his lunch, and Jesus winked at him, and he whispered in his ear, "Watch." How in the world will Jesus feed so many people with just that? Jesus' friends said because they thought it was impossible. But Jesus knew the one who had made all the fish in the oceans. And Jesus knew the one who, in that very beginning, had made everything out of nothing at all. How hard would something like this be for someone like that? Jesus took the little boy's lunch and he looked up into heaven and thanked his Father. Then Jesus gave the little lunch back to his friends. Jesus' friends started to hand out the food. Do you know what? It was the strangest thing. No matter how much they broke off, there was more and more and more. Enough for 5,000. Everyone ate as much as they wanted. 2nd helpings, 3rd helpings, even 4ths, until they were so full. And still there were leftovers. Well, Jesus did many miracles like this, things people thought couldn't happen and weren't natural, but it was the most natural in all the world. It's what God had been doing from the very beginning, of course, taking the nothing and making it everything, taking the emptiness and filling it up, taking the darkness and making it light. And that, my friends, is the end of this story. Hope you have a really good night's sleep.